After a small dip yesterday, the market is looking much better, and we see Ethereum back above 3,700, Bitcoin hovering around 120K. Alt season has not begun yet. I'm going to go over the data on that, but in this video, I think there are some great entries and some great opportunities on different projects across the board. So I'm going to go over my top picks as far as my DCAs in this market, and also go over a DeFi play, which has become one of the biggest DeFi plays in the entire space. You guys know what this is if you've been watching the channel, but it is actually outranking some full-blown blockchains in TVL. I think this could be a major play for the rest of the cycle, so I will dive into that and more. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to try to make this one a pretty quick and concise video, but there's a lot of data to comb through as well as altcoins that I want to cover. So before we get started, be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying the content here on In the Game, we're posting 4 to 5 times every single week to make sure that you win this bull run, bringing you all the alpha you need to know to have an advantage in this market. So like and subscribe down below. And of course, a big shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some incredible sponsors from Blowfin, Nexus, as well as 𝗕𝗟𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙 and Everreach Labs. And I want to give a big shout out to Blowfin. If you're not already trading on Blowfin, by far the best centralized exchange experience. You don't have any jurisdiction that rules this out. You can be anywhere in the world. No information from you needed. You don't have to give them your personal data. Easy withdrawals and deposits. I would highly recommend to check out Blowfin down below in the description. And we also have some really good sign-up bonuses. And there's an ongoing trading competition as well. So check out Blowfin down below in the description. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, last week, a lot of people were screaming, okay, dominance was dropping, and obviously it was, right? And that's why we saw Ethereum run. That's why we saw Solana hit $200 just the other day, but the dominance has picked back up, and typically this does happen whenever we do see a little bit of a market dip. Yesterday, we saw quite a bit of a dip across the board for altcoins, and specifically Ethereum and Solana. Solana actually was holding well yesterday amidst this dip, but Ethereum took a tumble back down to those 3,500 ranges, and a lot of people got scared. But when that happens, the market does move back into Bitcoin. A lot of people want that top dog asset. They saw dominance falling like a knife, and that means that money was flowing into alts. But at the end of the day, we did not even get close to really eclipsing what we could call alt season. Let me just get off that chart there. But this is not an alt season that we're in right now. We're still in that Ethereum phase. Ethereum hasn't even broken $4,000. We still have a long way to go. CoinGlass, which has a great grip on a ton of different analytics in the market, the altcoin season index is only at a 45. So really, it's still like Bitcoin / Ethereum season. And I think that that is a pretty accurate depiction of where we are. But you shouldn't really be worried. Yes, some of the retail coins are coming through with all-time highs. Look, BNB, XRP. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cardano hit all-time highs at some point in time this cycle. And I loved this tweet from Easy that the real retail index is combining Doge, ADA, and XRP. And right now he says, whenever this chart goes parabolic, that might be when retail is here. And I actually think that's a pretty good metric, combining some of these charts that are definitely some pretty retail coins. I do think that we should keep our eyes on things like this. But just given the landscape of the market right now, I don't think there's any reason to panic. And look, all of the signs point to us continuing upwards. First and foremost, we have not even had rate cuts in this market, and we have Bitcoin sitting at $120,000 as well as Ethereum at 3,700. But moving on down the ladder, we see strategy here, the top 10 public Bitcoin treasury companies. The Bitcoin 100 will fight to be in the Bitcoin 10, talking about public companies that are buying Bitcoin. And on top of that, we see SharpLink Gaming post their goal. They're looking to accumulate 1 million Ethereum, and they're a third of the way there. They are the biggest holders of ETH in the entire market, which is just absolutely insane. And with this type of demand, we saw how quickly Bitcoin teleported up to $120,000 after we saw that bearish dip down to the 70s after Trump launched, and we kind of had that lull in the market up until about April. If you're scared right now, it's because you lack conviction. BlackRock's buying billions of dollars of all of these coins, and we're on the cusp of billions of users coming into crypto. Grow a spine. It will never be easier than this. And I absolutely agree with that tenfold. And also, just whenever you look at the market as a whole, we have come so far and the retail interest is still non-existent. We don't need retail to generate a bull market, and that's very clear. We're having that happen right underneath our noses. So given all of the factors at play, I do think there's so much opportunity in the altcoin market right now, and I still would consider you early to most tokens. If we just look across the board, some of the major tokens, even the ones that have been around for quite some time, and some of the ones with the most adoption really haven't had their major moves yet this cycle. So in this video, I'm going to give you my picks going down from majors, DeFi, AI, gaming. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First and foremost, I'm looking at major coins. I still think Solana breaks all-time highs in the coming month or so. I do think we see a big run from Hyperliquid. And the fact that Hyperliquid's 8% off this week is just pretty baffling to me. The fact that it hasn't also moved in quite some time, but whenever this thing does move, we see explosive rallies. We're hovering around this $35, $36 range for quite some time. Now we're sitting at about $43 on Hyperliquid. This thing touched almost $50. I think it was a week or two ago. So for me, $42 Hyperliquid is a great discount here, down 8% on the weekly. I think under $4 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗘. Look, 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗄𝗃 is getting some of the most adoption in the entire space. So I absolutely love 𝗧𝗥𝗄𝗃 as well as 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 this thing does get that leg up, whenever the market does tick back up, when we see Ethereum cross 4,000, this is going to be one of the most explosive altcoins in the entire market. And I think this will absolutely bring liquidity and attention into AI altcoins. So the AI alts I will go into at the end of this video, but just looking at some of the majors, I do think Hyperliquid, 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗘, and Avalanche, as well as 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗄𝗙 would probably be my top DCAs here. And obviously Pengu's run quite a bit, and I'm going to talk about Pengu here when we get into the Solana section of this video. But for me, I'd keep it simple. I would be looking at majors like Hyperliquid, 𝗧𝗥𝗅𝗙, Avalanche, and 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗄𝗙. I think those would be my 4 top DCAs when it comes to the top barrel coins in the market. But moving down, I know you guys have heard a lot about this platform, but look, it is true. And also, I loved this tweet from Miles because this epitomizes it. There is a trade we are very focused on right now. I have my bags packed on those projects we just talked about. I have my bags packed in AI, gaming, etc. But there is a trade we've been taking advantage of over this last week or so. And look, stop trying to find a new play every day. Write out your winners. And whenever you have something, really bet big on it. This is how you win in the bull market, as Miles says here. And look, you guys know what we're getting into here. The top 3 DEXs on Avalanche this last week have processed over $1.7 billion in volume over the last 7 days. And this is alluding to a lot of what is happening at Blackhole. Blackhole's volume yesterday was $175 million in 24 hours. At that rate, it's processing over $5 billion per month in swaps. And I know a lot of you guys have got involved with this platform, are making money on yields, are up on the token. We got into this token at like 45 cents here on this channel. So I know everyone should be really winning on this token, which has been incredible. It was a fair launch. You could have gotten free tokens for an airdrop, and we set you guys up for that from day one. So that's a massive win here for the In The Game fam. But also, this DEX, I want to just wake you guys up to really what is happening on this platform. We see a DEX bigger than entire chains. Blackhole on Avalanche just hit $184 million in TVL and $175 million in 24-hour volume, which outranks blockchains such as Near Protocol and Thorchain. If they were a chain, here's where they would rank by volume. They would have been number 13, and this is a single platform, okay? And TVL, they would be ranked number 29. This has been an absolute massive win, not only for the users, us, the investors, and the participants in the platform that are making money on yields and the token appreciation, but also for Avalanche. I think that this, if the market wasn't compressed, like especially the last few days, Avalanche was hitting that 25 plus level. I think Avalanche is due for a major breakout here in the coming weeks. And I know we've been stacking AVAX at $19, $20, $21, $22, but this to me is just screaming that Blackhole should be the breakout platform to catapult the Avalanche token price. The reason being is a lot of other things like Off the Grid or MapleStory or these other big applications, FIFA coming to Avalanche, they're using Avalanche L1s. So the network effect is still there. However, they're utilizing Avalanche's tech with their own blockchains. So you don't really see those transactions funneling through Avalanche as a whole. But with Blackhole, it is just built simply right on top of Avalanche. And they're bringing over culture coins as well. If we take a look here, today they added 𝗪𝗡 to the platform with some juicy APYs. Farm Black and keep those pit vipers on. This is Satoshi's vision for real. So you can now use your 𝗪𝗡, which is one of the few meme coins that I still hold in this market, and yield over 1,000% on this platform. This is absolutely incredible opportunity for those involved and those with liquidity in these different coins. You can see they have SPX, they have Wilder World on here, they have Gunzilla, they have Champ and Black, they have obviously 𝗪𝗡 added today here in this pool. 1,000% APR. Like, I hold a bag of 𝗪𝗡. I'm going to move some 𝗪𝗡 on the bridge, and it's as simple as going over to the bridge here, and you can see all the different tokens that you can move over, including 𝗪𝗡, Pepe, and SPX. So this has been a major win so far, and I definitely expect the Blackhole token to have a major breakout as well whenever the market does turn up. We see $1.25 here. It's about a 3x or so from when most people have gotten involved in this token, but at $140 million market cap for a coin that is doing as much TVL and volume to rank in the top 20 of overall blockchains. This is going to be a massive, massive winner, and I do think that $2 plus is in the near future for the Blackhole token. Moving on down the line, obviously, with just Avalanche in general, I also think that this is going to be a great trade. We see South Korea's giant LG is interested in building its own stablecoin on Avalanche. We also see Limbo. This is the Yumio project. They brought their ecosystem today over to an Avalanche L1 built with AVAX, obviously. And look, Limbo has been a major winner. Let's go look at the 24-hour charts here, because I do want to point out this is one of those conviction low caps that we have been sitting in for quite some time, up 42% on the day and still at just a $5 million market cap. It has been an absolute banger of a trade. So congrats to anyone who has been in on Limbo as well, because this announcement today alone has catapulted this. I think we're now up 60, 70% on this position. So a massive win there, as well as just looking across the board. We're seeing money flow into AI coins that we like Neural AI, with gaming coins that we like Wilder World and WAGMI Games. So the market is turning around, but alt season is not here yet. So you do have plenty of time, I think, to stack your conviction picks in this market. Moving on down the ladder as well to Solana. I think Solana, obviously, with it hitting $200 the other day, I think we did see a lot of momentum pivoting back into Sol. And it's not from Pump Fund, it's really from Bonk. I mean, Bonk and Pingu have really been carrying the Solana market. And as 𝗧𝗥𝗙𝗙 says here, with every market cycle, the biggest protocol usually actually fails to stay on top of the game. And we've seen that with OpenSea, and now we're seeing it with Pump Fund. I mean, Pump Fund's token is just absolutely abysmal right now. So it's been pretty rough, but at the same time, we're seeing decentralized projects built for the right reasons, like Bonk, for example, thrive, like Pengu, absolutely thrive. So just looking at the Solana ecosystem, if I had to choose a couple coins to look at for DCAs, obviously Pengu, I do think Jupiter and Radium as far as exchanges. And look, Radium is still like right on par with the diluted. It's actually smaller than Pump Fund. And it's by far one of the biggest exchanges on the Solana network. Whenever a token graduates, it goes to Radium. It all makes sense for me. I think Ray is a big catch-up trade here in the coming weeks as well. And then moving down the ladder, I love the Star Atlas Polis token. Look, they are about to have a huge month over at Star Atlas, and that brings me into the gaming section of the show, as they have 6 events over the coming weeks beginning in 4 days. And I know this all leads into one of the biggest catalysts and one of the biggest news events in Star Atlas's history. So I love the Polis token heading into this, and just throughout the summer, I think Star Atlas is going to dominate the next month in crypto gaming at a $30 million market cap. I think this is a very, very good play. And then just looking across the board, We see Off the Grid launching today on OpenSea. If you've been a pro subscriber from July 2024, you can sell your NFTs and anyone can go out there and buy them on the open market. We see Wilder World about to turn on their buyback system, which I think is super bullish. And we need this type of incentivization. We need teams making revenue and being willing to put it back into their token, like what Blackhole's doing with Super, like what Hyperliquid's doing with their token, and like what Bonk said they're doing. Bonk is now putting 1% of their total revenue, reassigning it to buy back the top pairs in the Bonk ecosystem. So I think this is massive. And we're seeing Wilder World just try new things, which I love. 𝗪𝗡𝗋𝗋fun. And this is actually for creating AI generative skins for games. I'm really interested to see how this turns out. Generative AI skins for games, 𝗪𝗡𝗋.fun. So really excited to see what comes out of this, and we'll definitely give it a shot here on the channel whenever this goes live. But to me, if I had to bet on individual games, it would definitely be Gun, Polis, and Wilder World. Alongside WAGMI Games at this point, that would be my absolute moonshot play, which has also just been doing very well in the market. But on that high level, I think Super, Prime, Beam, those are a really good trio to stack as far as gaming coins. So that's what I'm looking at in this market right now. It's pretty simple. It lines up with our previous convictions, but at the same time, with Solana trending up, I think Solana coins are definitely a good bet, especially if Pengu breaks all-time highs. We continue to see the pump fund token go down. People are going to rotate into other plays on Solana. So I think you could probably see big wins from Bonk, Pengu, Ray, as well as smaller market cap coins like we're seeing with Limbo today, like I think we can expect with the Polis token, for example. So those are the things that I am looking at as far as majors, DeFi, meme coins, Solana coins, gaming. So if you enjoyed the content today, guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more every single week and every weekday here on In the Game. We always have you covered. And even though we might not have different picks or new coins every single day, we stick to exactly what our conviction is. And like what Becker said, you have to have conviction in this market, and that is what we are doing. So guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're winning on Blackhole, if you're participating in any of these platforms, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.